You're watching NNN, or New Nintendo News. This is a gaming show where we keep you up to date with the latest Nintendo related gaming news, and sometimes we actually cover PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series. Let's go give it to you! We do sometimes. On today's show, the house of PlayStation has seen some incredible highs over the last month. I get so high. But Sony have also had some lows. Oh my god, Sony have also had some lows over the past month. Low. So low. So what we'll be doing today is we will be taking a look at Sony's performance over the last 4, 5, 6 weeks, because I can't keep up. 1 minute I'm happy and the next minute I'm sad. 1 minute I'm angry and the next minute I'm overjoyed and the next minute I'm fuming. So let's start at the beginning. Let's take a look at the roller coaster of emotions that Sony have had me on over the last 6 weeks. The Sony roller coaster started on an incredible high. Oh my god, on the 20th of August, Sony were the proud owners of the timed exclusive game Black Myth Wukong. The game has sold a staggering 18 million copies! 18 million units in 6 weeks. These are the kind of numbers that are normally reserved for Nintendo first party titles. First party exclusive Sony titles. Not no random dibby indie developer from China with the first game. It's a success. I mean, to be fair, to be honest, the majority of these sales have come from the Chinese market. Nobody else in the world is buying this game apart from people in China. China. I mean, admittedly, let's put this whole conversation into context. Although Black Myth Wukong has sold 18 million copies worldwide, only 600,000 copies have been sold on the PlayStation 5, which is a very minute figure compared to the whole total. But launching with just under 1 million units sold in under 6 weeks is an amazing achievement. It's a fantastic start to a game. I'll tell you what, is it a fantastic start? Sony's Concord. Now this is where the roller coaster starts to take a dip. The roller coaster starts to go a bit low. Concord is a 5v5 online hero shooter, similar to Overwatch. It's just a bog standard, plain Jane, average 5v5 shooter with no personality. However, Sony and Firewalk thought that they would be offering something different. Sony bet big on Concord. This was their big, massive AAA games as a service. They've been working on this game for 8 years. That's nearly a decade. Let that sink in for a minute. Like, they put all their money in this. Sony have spent $400 million developing this game. $400 million on this game. But that's alright, because we recuperate it back, right? We'll get the money back. Guess again. Yes, on August the 2nd, Concord launched on PlayStation 5 and PC. But it did not sell well. In its first week, Concord sold 25,000 copies. The sale numbers for this game were so low that just after 3 days after launching, Sony said that they were going to pull the game offline and they were issuing everybody who bought the game a refund. On the 10th of September, Sony decided to put me back on this roller coaster of emotions, and the roller coaster only got worse.
Blimey. You alright?
Sony announced that they would be launching the PS5 Pro. Yes, they finally gave us a look at the long-awaited, long-rumoured console, and people were excited for it. We all love a mid-generation refresh. Yes, on the 10th of September, lead architect designer Mark Cerny hosted a 9-minute PlayStation conference unveiling the PS5 Pro and told gamers all across the world why you need to buy this console. Spoiler alert, you don't need to buy it. Nobody needs to buy this. If you buy this console, can you borrow me some money? Can you give me a borrows? Because you clearly have money to waste. This was not a good showcase to show what the PS5 Pro did. Sony decided to focus on background details. Sony decided to say the reason why you should buy the PS5 Pro, because do you see that little man in the distance? He's sharper than ever now. Did you see that leaf fall to the floor? That leaf is sharper than ever now. I don't care! I genuinely thought, you know what, if I can see a clear visual night and day difference between the base PS5 and the PS5 Pro, you might entice me, Sony. Sony haven't done that. There was no titles that showcased the power of the PlayStation. If I buy a PlayStation 5 Pro and I want something new to play on it, you're telling me to see the advantages, to get the most out of the system that I've just brought, I now have to go and play an old game that I bought 4 years ago. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Sony, you have no... What is Sony thinking? What are Sony thinking? On top of that, Sony unveiled the price of this console, and oh my god, that price. £699.99. That is a holiday. On top of that, you don't even get the disc drive. On top of that, it doesn't even come with a kickstand. In total, if I buy a PS5 Pro and a disc drive and the kickstand, I'm spending something like £825. That's nearly £1,000. Are you kidding me, Sony? They're smoking crack. They're smoking crack. I'm not gonna lie, I'm scared for gaming's future, because if Sony feel like they can charge £700 for a console, what are Microsoft gonna do? What are Nintendo gonna do? If the sales of the PS5 Pro are successful, how much is the PS6 gonna cost? But then Sony dropped a random teaser announcement 2 weeks later after the launch of PS5 Pro, and all of a sudden, the roller coaster's getting a bit better. Sony's exciting me again. Yes, Sony have unveiled limited edition versions of the PS5. They look amazing, they look beautiful, they look brilliant. Yes, Sony have decided that they would model the limited edition 30th anniversary PlayStation 5 consoles on the original PlayStation. I love the shade of grey, I love all the little designs, the little details. I love how you can get every single piece of PlayStation hardware in this colour. Sony are doing PlayStation Portal in limited edition grey colours, the PS5, the controller. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I know I've just been complaining that £700 is too much, but I really want these limited edition controllers. I want these limited edition consoles. Still staying on the Sony roller coaster, things can only get better. Things are getting better because on September the 6th, Sony released Astrobot. Oh my god, I've been waiting for Astrobot for so long. This game, it's what I needed. Although Astrobot was an incredible game, the reviews were amazing, it is a potential Game of the Year contender, it looks like no one bought it. No one bought this game. Well, no one bought the game in Japan, because the game launched in Japan and I think it sold like 12,000 copies in the first week. That's not a lot. However, in US and Europe, it turns out that the sales for Astrobot have been pretty fantastic. It looks like the sales for Astrobot in the UK have actually surpassed Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. And Ratchet & Clank is one of PlayStation's biggest selling titles, so that's good, right? And the last thing that I'd like to say, Sony held a state of play last week, and I'm not gonna lie, I was excited. So Sony did announce that we will be receiving some DLC content for Astrobot. Yes, they will be adding some speedrun levels and giving us 10 extra bots to rescue, which I'm grateful for. Thank you for providing us with more content for this game. Sony did also announce that they would be launching Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered.
There's so much more to discover before the world ends.
Sony announced that the Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered will be launching on October the 31st on PS5 and PC. It's going to feature over 10 hours of re-recorded conversation, motion capture, and countless of graphical improvements that bring the game to the same visual fidelity as its critically acclaimed sequel, Horizon Forbidden West. And like I said, it's going to take full advantage of the PS5 features. And finally, the big news! The biggest announcement from Sony's State of Play. This is a good one. Well done, Sony. Sony finally gave us a sequel to Ghost of Tsushima, the samurai game that took the world by storm a few years ago when it launched on the PlayStation 4. We're finally getting a sequel, and it's not called Ghost of Tsushima 2, it's called, do you know what, to be honest, I can't pronounce it. Ghost of Yotai? Sucker Punch announced that Ghost of Yotai, which introduces a new protagonist, a new story to unfold, and a new region of Japan to explore, will be coming to the PlayStation 5 next year, which is great. I have nothing more to say about it, apart from thank you for giving us something exciting, something to talk about, Sony. To be honest, I'm gonna get off this roller coaster. That's it. I have no more news to report.
Oh, Anthony! Anthony, wake up! Ah!
And that's all we have time for today. Thank you for tuning in. We will be back with another episode of NNN very soon. I appreciate you watching the videos. Bye!